Imagine you're 4 years old. Someone puts a marshmallow in front of you. Then they say, you can eat this one now. Or, if you wait 15 minutes without touching it, you get two. Then they leave the room. No supervision. No cameras you can see. Just you and the marshmallow and your own willpower. This tiny moment became one of the most famous experiments in psychology history called the Marshmallow Test. What's up, everyone? You're watching Learniq Psychology. The first experiment in delayed gratification was conducted by Walter Mischel and Ebbe B. Ebbesen at Stanford's Bing Nursery School. The experimenter seated preschool-aged children alone at a table with a marshmallow and, before exiting the room, presented them with a choice. Ring a bell to call the researcher back and eat the single marshmallow, or wait until the researcher's voluntary return and be rewarded with 2 marshmallows. Some kids lasted seconds, others lasted the full wait. And what Mischel noticed wasn't just who waited, it was how they waited. The children who could wait the longest did it by employing distraction techniques, covering their eyes with their hands, singing, turning around in their chairs, to avoid looking at the tempting object. One little girl didn't fight the urge at all. She rested her head, sat limply, relaxed herself, and fell sound asleep. Years later, researchers tracked those same kids down, and the results seemed stunning. Children who could resist the marshmallow at age 4 became adults who were more likely to finish college, had higher SAT scores, earn higher incomes, and were less likely to become overweight. This means it wasn't just an experiment. It could supposedly predict the shape of subjects' entire life. Parenting books ran with it. News segments ran with it. Teach your kid to wait, they said, and you're teaching them to succeed. But there was a problem. The original study followed fewer than 90 children. Most of them came from Stanford's preschool, meaning they were largely from highly educated and relatively wealthy families. The plot twist. This is where the story gets interesting. In 2018, a researcher named Tyler Watts led a much bigger, much more diverse replication. Published in Psychological Science, the study followed a much more diverse group of 900 preschoolers into their teens. Controlling for differences such as household income and cognitive abilities, they found only weak relationships to academic outcomes and no significant correlations to later behaviors. In other words, once you accounted for the kids' home life, their family's income, their early cognitive skills, the marshmallow test becomes useless. Think about a kid who grows up in a home where promises get broken, where later doesn't always come, where waiting for something better has, in the past, meant getting nothing at all. Of course, that kid eats the marshmallow now. That's not a failure of willpower. If researchers were unreliable in their promise to return, anyone would learn to seize the moment and eat the treat. Deeper psychological insight. We love a story where self-control is a personal trait, something you either have or you don't. It's simple, but real self-control isn't a fixed trait sitting inside your personality. It's a skill shaped by trust, by environment, by whether the world around you has taught you that waiting actually pays off. One good example of it is, suppose you decide to work on early to bed, early to rise principle. You make yourself disciplined that today I'm going to sleep early. But here is the reality. Your environment plays a very important role. If you don't have your private room or other people in your home, don't sleep early. The lights are on till late at night. There is too much noise. It's going to be almost impossible to sleep early. It's the same case with temptation. Your environment plays an important role in deciding whether to eat the marshmallow now or wait for 2. In 2022, researchers published a study in Psychological Science that compared children from Japan and the United States. The experiment looked familiar at first. Children were asked to wait in order to receive a larger reward later. But this time, researchers used 2 different rewards, a marshmallow and a wrapped gift. What happened was fascinating. The Japanese children, on average, waited longer when the reward involved marshmallows. But American children performed better when the reward involved waiting to open a wrapped gift. The researchers argued that the answer lies in culture itself. In Japan, gift-giving often happens more frequently throughout the year and doesn't always involve long periods of anticipation, as compared to US, where gifting usually happens on occasions like birthdays, Christmas, etc. And also, Japanese parents reported that their children were more accustomed to waiting for meals compared to American children. So, there may not be a single thing called willpower hidden inside our brains. Instead, our ability to wait can be shaped by our family, our environment, our experiences, experiences, and even the culture we grow up in. For decades, we believed the marshmallow test revealed the secret to success. But perhaps its real lesson is much more profound. The child sitting alone in that room wasn't simply deciding whether to eat a marshmallow. He might be thinking, can I trust that waiting will actually be worth it? Because sometimes success isn't about having stronger willpower. Instead, it's about having the right environment and support system that teach us that the future is worth believing in. Now, I want to ask you honestly, what is your biggest marshmallow temptation right now? Tell me in the comments. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Make sure to like and subscribe. Your little support on Patreon can really help me produce more amazing content. Until next video, keep learning.